4 county titles in a row for the Castlehaven ladies, going from junior C up to the senior ranks in the space of 4 magical seasons. So Siobhan, do you almost have to pinch yourself to see that this is real?
Yeah, we do a bit. I suppose when we started off those 4 years ago, we never would have thought that we would have had this success. I mean, our goal was always to move up through the ranks. As we went up through the ranks, we knew that it would get harder and harder, and we'd have to, train harder, be more dedicated, our commitment, bring in new players. And I suppose that has added to the success over the years.
What do you think the secret to Castlehaven success is?
I think the backing is there within the club. Everyone wants the women's side of the club to be as successful as the men. People want to see the ladies doing well. They want that for the underage, and people are involved in all areas of the club, and they're willing to give their time freely. The same volunteers or multiple volunteers are overlapping between the men's and underage side of the club, and people who have knowledge of football and are interested in football are helping out, and that is of benefit to everyone.
It must be a really proud moment for the club too, to now have a senior men's and ladies football teams.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. In a short space of time, we have moved up to the senior ranks. When we started this year, I suppose our goal was to try and get to a final, but to be victorious was another step in that ladder of success, and we're absolutely delighted with it. It is a great testament to the area here to have senior men and women.
And how important is Dilly Cahalan in this success story?
He's massive. He ties it all together, really. The commitment and dedication that he gives, he expects the same from the rest of us then. And I suppose he leads from the front then. He's, constantly organising different things, and everyone is willing to put that work in then when you see how much the management put in.
Like you said there, your target at the start of this year, your first year up intermediate, was to try and get to the final. How did you find your feet so quickly at the intermediate grade?
I suppose in the last few years, we've been playing a nice style of football, and it was just improving that a bit more. We also found that, we had more younger players coming up and wanting to play with the adult team this year. And then that competition for places encourages everyone, pushes everyone on. We were in the gym earlier in the year developing our strength. So that area also is really important as you go up through the grades. And I think that's really benefited us.
You mentioned there about newer girls coming on the panel. Have you found it kind of that old cliche, success breeds success, like that girls in the parish have seen what you have achieved over the last couple of years, and they're putting their hands up now. They want to be part of it because they've seen you win junior county titles, C, B, A, and intermediate. So like there's a real momentum behind the Castlehaven ladies team at the moment.
Yeah, there is. I know it is a bit of a cliche, but I do think it is true. We've had great success over the last few years, and people that, when we started off, there's a few of the younger panel who would have been very young when we started off the ladies club. They started and moved up to the structures of the underage teams and are now wanting to be part of our panel. And I suppose success does breed success within the whole club. Teams are being more successful. They're moving up through the grades, and the skills and the knowledge is there within the club.
They say lightning doesn't strike twice, but looking at the county final against Glanmire for the second year in a row, Castlehaven went all the way to a shootout in freeze to win a county title. So did that experience against Donny's last year winning the Junior A, how much did that stand for you when you faced off against Glanmire in that free shootout at MTU?
Yeah, I think, when we got to the end of extra time, it wasn't as daunting for us this time. We knew what lay ahead. People, I suppose, weren't as shell-shocked at what was going to happen. We had practiced it quite a bit now. This year, I suppose we were laughing and joking, we'll never get to this again. But there we were, and that was of huge benefit to us. People weren't worried about going up, taking the shot. They were happy to do so. At the end of the day, we were all a team in it, and, whatever the result, we've all done our best together. Luckily we did, we did score 2, which was enough. But I do think that experience of last year stood to us, yeah.
You nailed one of the frees in the shootout. What was going through your mind as you stepped up to kick the ball?
Well, I'm not sure, but we did a lot of practice during the week on it. I suppose in a fun way more so than actually having to do it seriously. But I had a bit of belief in myself. When I was overtraining during the week, I suppose I'd been kicking a lot of them to the left, so I knew that I needed to straighten up a bit, and I was delighted just to see it go over the bar.
And what was that feeling like when you saw Rachel Whelton kick her free over, and did that turn out to be the winning kick? That must have been a magical moment.
It was. Rachel did the same for us last year, which was brilliant. It was great. I suppose we knew we still had to steady ourselves because Glanmire had a shot to take still. So we could have been going a bit further with the shootout. But it put us in a really good chance. We were down one, and then all of a sudden we were up one, and we were in there then, which is great.
You're a team well used to success over the last couple of years. So how did the celebrations on Saturday night compare to what had gone in previous years?
The celebrations were pretty good. Yeah, I think as we've gone up through the grades, the celebrations have upped as well. It was brilliant. I suppose we've had to regroup now again this week. It's a quick turnover to the Munster. I suppose we were disappointed last year with how we performed and how it ended for us. So we're hoping to do, to progress a bit more this year.
You mentioned their Munster, so Castlehaven are out in the Munster Intermediate Championship this weekend, taking on the Waterford champions on Sunday, I think. So how hard is it to regroup? Because you're just coming off an incredible high, winning an intermediate title and going up senior, but to focus the minds back again this year and get ready for another game this weekend.
Yeah, I suppose it's all bonus territory now. We go out, we give it a go. You don't know an awful lot about the opposition. But I suppose you go out and you try and play your own game and you adjust as you're playing the game. Then it is, you're coming down from a high, but you're trying to carry that momentum into the game, get the bodies recovered and to go again. To be honest, I think if you asked everyone on the panel, would they like to be still playing football, and everyone would say yes. So, we're delighted to be still going. We don't want it to end. And
obviously, like, Munster's coming up, so you probably haven't even thought about going senior next year. But at some stage over the winter, Siobhan, like, you'll be thinking, okay, we might have a crack off more Abbey next year, or Clonakilty, or Kinsale, or whoever it is, at Éire Óg, whoever it is. Like, that's where this Castlehaven team wants to be, taking on the best teams in the county.
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose we will be testing ourselves massively now next year in the senior ranks, but it's an opportunity and it's a challenge that we're looking forward to. It's where we've wanted to get to, and I suppose we'll have to have a look at our training and see what we'll need to do in pre-season. We have to up it a bit more, maybe our strength program. I think it'll take a bit more to get to be really competitive in the senior ranks, but I think we're all willing to put in that hard work.
You could probably take a lot of encouragement and confidence from the fact that every step up you've taken over the last couple of years, you've met that step, and at the first time of asking, you've progressed from that grade. So, like, this is a team, like I said, there's momentum behind you. Obviously, lots of skill, ability, and all that. But you've proven that you're able to take those step up. So you can take a lot from that as well.
Yeah, we can. I suppose every year when we start off, we have a team meeting, we set out, what our goals are for the year. And, then we the management decide how we're going to get to those goals and how we're going to reach those targets. And people have no problem putting in the hard work. I suppose it won't be any different this year. We'll have to decide, what our targets are, what are we trying to do at senior level, and go from there.
Consider that I think the Castlehaven Ladies Club, what is it, 10, 11, 12 years old, like it's still quite new for this team to go up senior so fast. Like, like you said earlier, it's a testament to the people in the club and everyone in the background that's played their part in this.
Yeah, it is. There's an awful lot of people that it takes to run the club. Like, we're just out there, training and playing football. I suppose we're getting huge benefit and huge enjoyment out of it. Obviously the supporters do as well, our family do. So there's a lot of people behind the scene. Our committee and the board, the chairperson and the secretary, they do a huge amount of work in the background, and we do really appreciate all of that.
And finally, Siobhan, the fact now we have Castlehaven senior men's and women's team, surely there has to be a friendly bet here on between the Castlehaven men's and women's team. Who's going to win the senior county next?
I I don't know now, but we go up against the men in that. They're doing very, obviously they were unlucky there on Sunday, coming up against a good Bars side. But I suppose when they've played in the senior ranks for quite a few years, they're well experienced there. But I suppose, yeah, I don't know what I'd be going for that one now. But I'd back us, of course.
Of course, you'd back you. Like I'd be backing you too, because you've proven every time so far that you've been able to make the step up. So if the likes of Brian and Michael Hurley are listening to that, lads, the pressure is on you to match the Castlehaven women. So again, Siobhan, thank you so much, and congratulations again, and best of luck this weekend in Munster.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Kieran.